Welcome back to Religious Hard Talk. Bishop Joseph Adigol has decided that he cannot let the challenge from Muslim Sheikh Abdullah Al-Faisal go without any rejoinder. He has decided that this man must be debated. We must not speak about him behind his back. We must not draw red herrings. We must face him as Christians and debate his ideas. And we have seen from that introductory remarks, the introductory remarks by the Sheikh, that he is prepared for a theological battle. This is not a man who is interested just in political Islam, but this is a man who passionately has certain theological disagreements with Christianity. He has come with his facts. He has brought the historical evidence of the persecution that Christians have committed against themselves. And Bishop Adigol has thrown down the gauntlet. He has said that this making Jesus into God is blasphemous. What are your comments on the Sheikh's presentation?
Well, it's interesting. What I see, and especially the whole aspect with the brethren in Islam, is their focus on irrelevance and making it to be a point.
But Jesus is not irrelevant, Bishop. It's just central to Christianity. Can't be irrelevant. Just go on anyway. I don't want to disturb you.
But you are, because the truth is that I'm talking about irrelevance.
Okay.
Irrelevance is that the focus is on slave masters, the Europe, the Rome, and I'm talking about the doctrine of the Quran. I'm talking about the essence of the doctrines of Quran, which is very important. I have fought with white people. I changed my name 2 times simply because I just don't want to have anything to do with anything called Europe or slave masters. I did a research in Nigeria, all over Nigeria, because I want to know the truth about the slave masters. And I'm saying this, Ian, that the focus of my faith should not be based on European and what they do, but on the teaching of the scriptures that I believe in, which I want Sheikh to actually address more than talking about European masters and slave masters and colonial masters. Those are not very important to me. The fact is this: the Christianity, in terms of Trinity, Sheikh or anybody else in the world, to context with what the scripture says. Trinity doesn't start from Europe, from Rome, from Genesis chapter 1. Come, let us make the world. Come, let us do this. That's the beginning of Trinity. Began from Genesis. It does not belong from one Roman Catholic priest or anybody. It's from the Genesis, the old concept of the Trinity. And that's what I'm saying. The language of the scriptures, one has to study it. The interpretation of the scriptures, one has to study it. I personally, in 1976, I was dying. I was lying on my deathbed when everybody gave up because they believe I'm going to die. I personally, and I'm saying this before God and man, I was lying on the bed when somebody came. The room was transformed. He stretched his hands, and I saw the nail prints in his hand, and he said, I am Christ. I couldn't see his head because of the glory that entered into the room. And he said, if you believe in me, I will heal you and I will send you out. Immediately I said, I believe. I was a dying man. Nobody was able to help me again. Immediately he said that the print in his hand, it said these things can be proven over and over. Jesus is indeed the Son of God. Jesus is God. It can be proven from the scriptures that Jesus is God.
Your view, Sheikh, you're saying the Bible itself is contradictory on this point.
Yes.
Because Jesus denied this.
Yes.
Your response to what Bishop was saying?
What he just said, he dug a hole for himself, and it's impossible for him to come out of this hole. I don't see how it's going to be possible for him to come out of this hole, because I'm going to use his own Bible to sink him further in the hole. Now, you held the Bible passionately and said it is the scripture.
Yeah.
So since that's the case, let's use your own scripture against you. In the book of Matthew 21 verse 11, The multitude said, "This is Jesus, the prophet of Nazareth." Likewise, in Luke 24 verse 19, the multitude said, "Jesus, the prophet of Nazareth." And the Bible said, "He is mighty indeed before God and all the people." In John 7 verse 40, many of the people therefore said of the truth, "This is Jesus the prophet." So you are claiming that Jesus is God, but your own Bible in Matthew 21 verse 11, Luke 24 verse 19, John 7 verse 40 said, "This is Jesus, the prophet of Nazareth." I can give you these quotations after the debate.
No, need I know.
So how can you claim that Jesus is God when your holy book, which you held passionately a while ago, said he is a prophet of Nazareth? So are you trying to say you are making up your own Christianity as you go along, and you do not believe in your holy book? Also, if Jesus is God, he fell on his face and he prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane, and he said, "If it is possible, my Father, let this cup pass over me." This is Matthew 26 verse 39. Matthew 26 verse 39. And he said, "Not my will, but thy will." So Jesus is saying, my will is inconsequential. It's not important. Whose will is important? The will of God. He just said, "Not my will, but thy will. If it is possible, let this cup pass over me." So these are many evidences to prove that Jesus is not God. In Mark 12 verse 28, he said, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one." Now why did Jesus use the pronoun our? This is the important word in this verse. Our God. It is to include himself as a worshipper of God. So he used the pronoun our and said our God. So if he is stating that he has a God, how can God has a God? Because there is only one God.
Thank you.
Yes.
If you accept the whole aspect of when Jesus said, "My Father," did you accept that? Because you just quoted that passage, "My Father."
Yeah.
Now, so you accepted that Jesus said, "My Father," and you accepted that passage of the scriptures. In other words, you accept that Jesus is the Son of God. Is that?
You need to make up your mind.
No, hold on. I'm asking you. No, hold on. Did you accept that? Did you accept that verse where Jesus said, "My Father"? You accepted it as authentic.
But
I'm only asking you because you quoted it as part of your support.
Our Father who art in heaven.
Okay.
Now, in those days,
right? You are not answering me. You are not answering me.
In those days,
you are not answering me. You need to let me know if you accept it. Jesus turned to his disciples. Now listen. Let me answer your question. Listen to me.
Let me answer your question.
Jesus turned to his disciples and he said, "Who do men say that I am?"
No.
And Peter said, "You are Christ, the Son of the living God." Did they say, "No, I'm not"? Did Jesus deny that?
Are you trying to shove my verses under the carpet?
No. Answer him on that. And
I will answer every question you ask me.
Yeah.
I shall answer you.
Yeah.
The first question, do I accept when Jesus said, "My Father"? I accept that Jesus was a spiritual son, not a physical son. Because in the book of Matthew 5 verse